So I'm gonna try to wrap this up. It's just so much information that I have. Um, their tip. Okay, they're good manipulators. They're overly self indulgent. They're very arrogant. The fact that I'm coming to this man about concerns and allegations that his daughter made against him, and he's sending smiley faces. I actually looked up, it says abusers, they will use jokes, they will laugh to kind of brush things off and make light of a situation, if that makes any sense. It's, you guys will have to Google this stuff for it to really like make sense if you're not understanding what I'm saying, because I'm all over the place. It says they're users of various kinds of porn. On Darren's phone, there's so much downloaded porn that I have found on his phone. I actually found on his email, if anybody has a chance, on his email, he actually has screenshots, like the links of prostitutes on Backpage. He has, it was like 6 of them, 6 black females that he has saved on Backpage. And I remember I confronted him about that. I said, Darren, why the hell do you have links to prostitutes on Backpage? It says that abusers will resort to hiring prostitutes. And I remember I even have messages that I sent my parents where I was like, Mom, do you mind keeping my money? This was during the Durham hotel stay. So do you mind keeping my money for me? Because I said my money's disappearing. I said I'm making all this money, and then when I go to count my money, because I leave it with Darren at the hotel while I work, a lot of it's unaccounted for. And I said, I know I'm not going crazy. Like, literally, Darren would do things and say things, and when I go back to, like, regurgitate what he said, he'd, like, swear up and down he never said it. It's like, even my best friend witnessed it. I mean, so many times where I'm like, it's to the point where I literally thought I was losing my mind. And then I read this stuff, and I'm finding out, actually, that's what they do. Like, abusers will literally, they'll say shit never happened. That happened, to the point where their victim feels like they're going crazy. Everything's making sense to me now. All right? They're typically known as rationalizers, intellectualizers, and justifiers. Lots of text messages to prove that one. Great helpers. They're there to lend a helping hand. They prey on people in need. He got us homeless and evicted. He knows I need a babysitter to watch my kids, or else we're going to be on the streets. Every time I get in an altercation with my mom and she says I have to find somewhere else to go, every time, who's always there to watch my kids? Drop of a dime. There to watch my kids. They use stressful and vulnerable situations to get into their victims' lives. They find a need that they can feel, and they use that to get to their victim. I needed a babysitter. He isolated me from my family and friends. He was the only one I had, literally, to depend on for babysitting. And I'm homeless. Okay? Pedophiles are notoriously friendly. They're nice. They're kind, they're engaging, and likable. Pedophiles are professional con artists and are experts at getting children and family to trust them. Pedophiles target victims, insinuating themselves into the child's life through family. He was able to get to Jada through me because of my situation. They will smile at you, look you in the eyes, and make you believe that they're trustworthy. Mr. Ferguson, did you not tell me back in 2012 or 13, did you not say, Darren is so good at lying, he will look you dead in your damn eye and tell you a damn lie? Darren would tell you a lie so good to your damn face, you believe that shit. Did you not say that, Mr. Ferguson? Pedophile characteristic. All right. So now we're gonna go back. Oh, we'll get on that later. Okay. Characteristics of a pedophile continue. They're usually adult males. They're often past victims of child molestation, Darren claims. They seek children the same age that they was victimized. Darren told me he was victimized around age 3 or 4, which was similarly around the age of Jada. They're usually well-liked and respected community members. They're well-educated. They're church-goers. They offer babysitting services frequently. Abusers projects their words, attitudes, or actions onto unsuspecting victims because they themselves have not dealt with childhood wounds that are now causing them to harm others. I find it interesting that Darren, whenever the family will offer me advice, it's funny how Darren always wanted me not to come to you guys for advice because he wanted to keep me ignorant. Here I am, a naive young girl, my first relationship. I don't know shit, okay? He preyed on that. He took advantage of that. That's why it makes sense why Darren wanted to keep me from running my mouth to you guys, because every time I went to you guys, there was new knowledge that you guys were educating me on. And I always go back stronger and confident and regurgitating what Chris told me or what Mr. Moore told me or what Miss Moore told me. And then he would always bring me back down to where I was to make me feel this small again. Now I see why he didn't want y'all in my ear. I see why he didn't want y'all in my ear. All right. So, they make you feel like there's no way out of the relationship. I need someone to watch my kids. I can't leave this man because I have no one else to watch my kids and I can't afford it. I'm not going to leave him. Troubling stories, different stories will lie to your face. Okay, pedophile. Adults who seem preoccupied with kids engage in frequent contact with children. Darren was with my kids every single day for over a year. Every time I needed him, every time I went to my mom's house and got kicked out, or every time I went to my mom's house and we got an altercation and I wanted to leave, he was always, all I had to do was text him and call him. All I had to do was text him and call him. He right back there. Adults who are always available to watch your kids. Adults your children seem to like for no reason. Jada didn't like Darren. Okay, she was always a mommy's girl. And then all of a sudden we get to that hotel and she goes from not liking Darren to now they're besties. Okay. Aggressive behavior. Narcissistic, self-centered, and selfish, which y'all seen that. Very needy. He needed me. He didn't have a house. He didn't have a job. He didn't have money. He needed me. Inability to have successful relationships with adult partner. Darren's been in so many damn relationships, it's ridiculous. Very sexual. Got porn all over his goddamn phone. Videos of that shit. Okay? History of sexual abuse as a child, especially at the age of their victim. Jada. Addiction to porn. Compulsive use of internet sex. Dependent on others. He was very dependent on me. Multiple sex partners, seeking prostitutes. The links to the prostitutes on Backpage that I found on his email. My missing money. Who was he? The hotel that we were at, it just so happened that it had it was known to have a lot of prostitutes working there. Multiple use of sex partners. What the family doesn't know is after giving birth to Roman and going back to stripping 3 weeks after giving birth to my son, Darren actually had sex with Kwanda behind my back lots of times. And he had sex with one of my co-workers, which is a whole nother story. This is before I moved on to Joe, by the way. Actually, why I moved on to Joe. Because I had enough of that shit. Insisting on managing and spending unusual amounts of time with children. Seems too good to be true babysitting. Kids had urinary tract infections. She had stomachs, headaches, bedwetting, angry outbursts, sleep problems, withdrawal, inappropriate sexual behaviors. What my child had. Partner destroys your property. I have in the report of March of last year when Darren got arrested, where the police actually took my phone, that they found it was cracked. I didn't have a phone because Darren put my phone in a pot of boiling water and cracked it. That's in the police report. Keeps victim unaware of what's going on. Talk about you to others behind your back. Brainwasher controls the victim's time and environment and suppresses the victim's old behavior. Victim slowly is isolated from all supportive persons except the brainwasher. They stop contact with their mom and their friend. That fits me perfectly. Remember when I met Darren? Darren wasn't isolated from you. Darren was isolated from his family long before I came into the picture because he didn't have a relationship with his mom and his step-pops. I didn't isolate Darren from his family. That was already occurring when I met Darren. When I met Darren, I was close to my family. My mom, I had friends. I was in high school. Abuser creates powerlessness, dependency. I depended on him for babysitting. Abuser puts forth a closed system of logic, allows no input or criticism. What he says goes. Verbally abused as a child, so he says. Explosive temper, triggered by minor frustration and arguments. Possessive and jealous, using your looks that you post on Backpage. He contacted people I had seen. Submitted my mugshot on an escorting busted site when I was arrested for failure to appear at court. Facebook messaging my friends, hacking into my Facebook accounts that I could no longer get into because he changed my passwords. Abusers have superficial relationship with others. Their primary relationships is with their girlfriend. Abuser's capacity to deceive others, he can be cool, calm, charming, and continuing and convincing. A con man. Okay? Now, what we're going to talk about next is the disturbing text messages that Darren has sent me. Okay? To further my argument. Number one, these are messages he sent me. That's why this is me. I said, that's why I fucking called you and you didn't answer me. You didn't even fucking call. I'm so livid because when I'm trying to reach out to him about the Jada situation, he waited 4 hours. So this is what he says. Oh, well, he sent me a smiley face with the tongue sticking out. Another one. I said, he said, have her checked. I said I was going to have her checked out. He says, okay, let me know how that goes. Why would I be concerned about something I didn't do? Y'all can hardly communicate amongst adults in your family, but an illiterate